I was made for loving you, baby.
I don't want baby.
Welcome to 30 What Now, a podcast dedicated to millennials figuring that shit out. I'm your host, Melissa Tan. Hello, welcome to Mel's solo podcast. I've got here Leanne.
Hi.
I've got here Thomas.
Hello.
And these are my two friends. Do you want to intro stuff about yourself?
My name is Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
I'm 30 years old, so I'm legally allowed on this podcast.
Legally?
Yeah. I don't like children. I'm not good at basketball.
My name's Leanne, and I'm still 29. Sorry. I'm still 29.
Why are you sorry? Like, you thinking of...
Didn't
You
can cut that. Not Malaysian.
Not Malaysian. Actually. So, I'm going to start off, like, in the past, we start off with...
What are you watching?
No, but what are we watching, right?
Yeah.
But recently, I was like, what if we start off with Would You Rather?
Ooh.
Like, what gives you the ick more was what I was thinking about today. So, what gives you more of an ick, right? Someone who says ni hao to everyone despite the ethnicity, or someone who's like thinks that they know about Asia but they've gone only to Bali and they then go to beach clubs and just do the classic like resort thingamabob.
The ni hao is more ick. Didn't I have a racist encounter?
Yeah.
That guy was like ni hao, and then I was like, I'm not Chinese, and then he was like, oh, Thailand.
Oh, what? So aggressive.
You.
Yeah, me. Definitely the ni hao one.
Definitely.
Yeah, at least they've been to Asia. You got to give them something there.
Does Bali count?
Bali is Asia. It's
True, but like for an Australian to go to Bali, I don't know.
I assume at one point they left the resort to go on a motorbike up a hill.
That's true.
So they did at least leave the resort.
That is so true. Okay.
I'll give them a bit more credit for at least trying.
Okay. All right, ni hao. Okay, fair. I thought the ni hao was worse because I wouldn't want to be like walking around the street and then he will go to like a restaurant and then he will be like ni hao to a Thai restaurant and you're like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. Do you know what I mean?
Look, if play devil's advocate, at least they're trying. You know?
Are they?
Look, I feel like everyone wants to look at it the most negative way. This person is trying to be multicultural and be respecting them by saying ni hao. They could be educated a little bit, yes, but at least they're trying.
Oh, wait. I also find that sometimes it depends on the age. Like, if it's like a 70-year-old man,
Then
I'm
it's
like,
creepy.
It's creepy, but I'm like, okay, fine. But if it's like a 20-year-old guy or girl, whatever, I feel like that is ignorant. Anyway, thanks for that. Do you have anything that you are watching? No, apart from that.
Thomas is watching Clarkson Farm next season.
Oh.
What's the latest season? 4?
Yes.
Season 4.
Is it out yet?
Yes.
Oh.
Not all episodes.
Doing a stupid 2 episodes a week. I don't care that people want to join in on a discussion weekly about the show. If I want to binge watch a show in one day, let me have the choice. I'm sick of waiting 2 episodes a week. Anyway.
We're half watching Long Way Home. It's got Ewan McGregor in it, who is my childhood crush and still my crush. He's Obi-Wan Kenobi. But anyway, they're just riding their motorbikes all around, I can't even remember. Starting from Scotland, like Iceland, all the cool places. And I'm also watching Umbrella Academy. I'm very late, but yes.
Wait, isn't Ewan McGregor like old?
Yes, he is.
Like, isn't he like sugar daddy old?
Yes, he is. And he also cheated on his wife. But
No. Actually, that is a non-Asian related thing gives me the ick. Like if there's a hot guy, a hot celebrity, like Chris Pratt. Sorry, I used to like Chris Pratt. I don't think he cheated, but there
was something messy.
There was something messy. Yeah. Like he left his previous wife, and he had an autistic son with that previous wife, and he left her for. I think a what's the guy's name? The one's like, get to the chopper, that one.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, I think it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like, is it? Or Kennedy? Like one of them. Yeah. Like he left for like a fancy like wife. And then they had a daughter. And I think they were saying how he prefers that kid over like his first kid, because his first kid, the second kid didn't have autism. So I used to like Chris Pratt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't like him now.
Nah. But talking about kids.
Lovely segue.
Thank you.
That
Thank you.
transition was seamless.
I actually didn't think about how to just then. But talking about kids, now you know I'm in my 30s, and you are both of you close to your 30s, and I feel like we're at this period of time where most of your friends are having kids, or if not the second kids, and most of your family is like, oh, especially because both of you guys are married, they'll be like, are you guys thinking of having kids? Like, what's your stance on that?
Kids bad.
Podcast over.
I do not want children.
I do not want children. We are child-free by choice.
When I first met you, I feel like you told me. You told me how you met Thomas. Like, how did you guys find another person who also don't want kids?
Okay, so Thomas and I met on Tinder.
Woo.
Wow, so romantic.
Sponsor?
So my Tinder bio was, this bloodline ends with me.
Oh, that's some Game of Thrones shit.
So very dramatic, but got the point across. Told everyone I don't want kids. And yeah. Well, Thomas, you can speak on this.
I decided to hit her up with my best pickup line, which was, my bloodline also ends with me, but mine's not really by choice. And, we all love a self-deprecating king, don't we?
I took that the wrong way, and I was like, oh my God, yes, this is a win. Like, I thought something was wrong with him, but really he was making a joke.
Right.
And
You
I was
thought
like,
it was like, oh, like...
I thought like I found someone infertile or something.
And you're like, this is the perfect match, finally.
And then, no. But anyway.
So he doesn't shoot blanks, is what you're saying.
Correct.
I wish.
And then, so, like, have you ever thought, like, what actually made both of you not want kids?
Well, for me, there was no exact moment or like age or anything. I do remember, like, in the past with my cousins or friends, I would see them get so excited around children, and I'd kind of just be like, okay,
Oh, really?
cool, like,
Like,
I don't feel
whatever.
anything.
Oh.
They would be like, oh, baby fever or something like that, or they'd be like, oh my gosh, so cute, and I'm kind of just like in the corner, just like, sweet, what next? But yeah, so I don't think I've ever felt like I wanted them.
I, on the other hand, never really had a strong desire one way or the other.
Oh, really?
Mine was
Oh.
more of, there are a lot of effort and I can barely look after myself. And realistically, it was more of, if the partner wanted it, I wouldn't argue too much, but if they didn't, I'm fine. Because it is a lot of responsibility that I don't even think I don't know, maybe, everyone always tells you the responsibility comes when you have the child. That's when you mature. But it just seems like
Yeah.
such a toxic way for men to become mature that they need to have a child. It's like the man steps up when they have a kid.
So you would have been fine either way if any of your partners was like, actually,
If they really wanted kids, I wouldn't have said no to that person.
Ah.
Well, I didn't really care either way.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't want to give up my sleep or the way I live now, to be honest, for a child.
Do you think, like, any of you would actually feel like you might regret the decision? I'm only saying this because a friend of mine recently is on a break with someone, right? And in the past, they were like, maybe we don't want kids. But then now that they're on a break, and then she's like, actually, when they're on a break, they've had a discussion. They're like, actually, I do want kids. So the potential is that maybe they don't want, they weren't sure if they want to have the kids with each other. And that's when they realize, like, they maybe want kids. Are you ever scared that potentially you might regret that decision?
No, not really. Like, when I look at the positive reasons for why I want a child, it always comes back to the ego. Like, I want to see something, like, I want to make sure my kid achieves great things. I want to see them become like a rocket scientist, become a professional football player. And then it's like, why do I want that? Is it because I want my child to show how great of a parent I am? Is it just truly just me wanting to portray myself as something better than what I really am? And that really is the question I see whenever I see anyone want kids. Is it looks like you're just pushing your ego out there to show you're better than other people through a child. And maybe I'm projecting, but those are the only reasons that come to my brain for why I'd want a child, to leave a legacy. And really a legacy is your ego.
Well, the only reason I would have ever wanted a child is so I could dress them up really cute And that's the only thing. And I was like, that's not enough of a reason.
Do it with the cat.
That's cruel. But to answer your question, well, since my thing was I definitely don't want, what's there to regret? Like, why would I regret something what's there to regret? And also, I would rather regret not having kids than regret having kids.
I think that's fair. That's fair. Has anyone ever not questioned, but how did your family take it? How do your family and friends take it when you say you don't want
So
kids?
both of our parents are in denial, slash in the whole, you'll change your mind.
Like,
blah,
when you
blah,
grow
blah.
older kind
Yep.
of thing.
All that. And also, both of our parents are very Christian.
Yep.
So they
Praise
will
the Lord.
expect us to go forth and multiply, you know? But I've not actually directly told my parents.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Don't listen, parents.
Like, my aunties and stuff probably know, so they think they know. And my siblings know.
Yes.
But they've never, like, directly asked me.
Yeah,
Or I've
yeah.
never, like, said to them.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they know.
Yeah. Fair.
And Thomas's parents will probably still, like, when are you guys having kids? Thomas has told them, though. And
did not
they
take it
will,
well?
like, think that I want kids.
Yeah.
'Cause they'll be like, what about Leanne?
Yeah, they always like, well, that's not just your choice, son.
And
But
you're like,
really, it's
but
me."
actually, if it's purely the girl's choice.
It's purely Leanne's choice.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't throw her under the bus to my parents like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So,
Oh, that's fair. That's
You
fair, that's
can,
fair.
they just wouldn't believe you.
yeah. And Leanne would never tell my parents that, so you wouldn't, would you?
Maybe one day if, like, it was really bothering me and I'm just like,
Or, like,
I'm
if something-
done with
yeah.
people asking.
I never think they'd push that.
But not,
hard,
yeah, I
though.
don't think they would push
Yeah,
very
that's
hard.
fair. I also, it's probably quite new age because I feel like back in the day when people say they don't want kids, I think you get like really, really weird looks. But I feel you're definitely not the first friends of mine who didn't want kids. I actually know loads of people who have decided that they don't want kids in the future, but two of them, the moment that they got married, one of them has a kid now and the other one's like thinking about it. So the ones that I know that don't want kids at the moment currently are like still single. But do you notice that maybe there's actually quite a fair bit of people out there who, like young people, who have decided not wanting kids? Like, do you know many of your friends who are of that same thinking?
Quite a few, but also, like you said, there is a lot that have told me in the past they don't want kids and then they all of a sudden have kids.
Yeah.
So I don't believe people when they say it. But I don't know. Like, I think yes, in general, especially with everyone complaining about
Cost of living. The amount.
climate change.
But the type of like, I think kids these days also, like, you tend to find them, there's a lot of things you have to deal with them. Like, if you think about like the UK or the US, like lots of violence as well. Like, if you have a boy, you need to make sure that they grow up not being Andrew Tate. And then if they have a girl, you need to make sure that they don't become a victim of someone that is influenced by Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot
World
more
is scary.
scariness coming through.
Yeah, I just think most people say they don't want kids either because they're just at the stage of their life where they can't
They can't
see
think
it.
about
They
it.
can't
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
like a 25-year-old's not going to think, oh, I want children. Like, they're still young. They haven't even met someone they want to have children with.
Yeah.
So most of these people who are saying it aren't in the position to really be definitively saying they don't want
Yeah.
children. And let's think, most 25 to 30-year-olds haven't even got their career sorted. So when they think of even cost of living, they're, majority of them aren't that rich. So thinking about outlaying that amount of money on a child is already crazy to them.
So you don't think that actually say, in a way, it feels like a defensive mechanism. You're
Yeah.
like, at the moment, if I don't say I want it, if I never achieve it, it's fine.
Yeah.
What do you think? So why do you think that you guys are now, in comparison, more like solid at not wanting kids?
Something that I've thought about for like a long time.
Oh,
Because I also thought like
maybe it'll change.
society,
Yeah.
growing up Christian, I was like, that's what I need to do. And then self-reflection, I guess, I was kind of like, I don't really feel like I have a maternal instinct. And having a kid, I would probably resent the kid.
You reckon?
And then the kid would resent me.
You reckon?
And PC doesn't count as like
PC's a cat.
my cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like things like that. And I also did like little tests to myself, like being with the right person as well, maybe.
Like, is
I
it
was-
Thomas?
Am I?
Nah, even before Thomas, like the people I dated, I was kind of like, maybe it's just because of this guy.
Ah, yeah.
And then I dated other people, and then I was single, and I was like, I still don't want them. And the next test was my siblings to have kids. So I have 2 brothers, and both of them have kids. And then when they had them, I was like, oh, maybe I'll change my mind. Because I've heard of stories of people saying they don't want kids, and then their siblings had kids, and they're like, I really want them now too. And they did, and I was kind of still, wow, you're really cute. And that was the extent of how I
Yeah.
felt. Yeah, like little stuff like that. Like I don't think, zero baby fever.
So, like, you literally, it sounds like you literally just tested yourself. at
Yeah,
each
like
point.
because I was like, what if I'm just being impulsive and like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want them. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
but then I hate the thing when people are like, you will change your mind. But then what if I'm also using that as like, I'll prove you wrong. I won't change
Yeah,
my mind.
that's what I was thinking. No, that's literally, what if, like, that's, isn't, yeah, maybe that's what, what.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Thomas? Because you're so on the fence, I think it's actually more interesting to be like, how are you, not how are you sure, but what makes you, sure of your decision?
I don't know how to explain it without sounding like, well, I don't care, but like, I genuinely don't. Like
That's fair.
whenever I think of a child, I think my brain just goes to doomer mode, and it's like thinking,
Doomer mode. What do you mean doomer mode?
like I'm thinking of all the worst case situations of having
yeah,
a kid.
yeah.
Of like, I've got to look after this thing. I've got to pay attention to this thing. I've got to feed and house this thing. I've got to deal with something yelling all the time and being annoying. I don't think of the positive things about a child. And even when I go to my brain of thinking of positive things, there are very few. And then when it goes back to the positive things,
the
my
ego
ego
again.
driving me again. So, yeah, realistically,
I think the ego is a really interesting thing, though. Like, have you guys watched Iron Claw, the one with Zac Efron?
yeah.
Oh, you have?
We have the wrestling.
The
movie.
wrestling.
we have.
So me and my brother watched it yesterday, just literally yesterday. And I think it's that ego. To me, I feel like that's when your ego thing like resonates, right? Like the dad, Fitz, I think is the name in Iron Claw, and it's also a reflection of like a true story. Has 5 sons in real life, or 5 to 6 sons in real life and in movies, slightly different. But he plays so much of his hopes and dreams into his wrestling kids, and obviously, spoiler alert, like it doesn't end well, right? And I think like even for like everyday people, you'll see that parents will be like, I never got the education, so you need to get the education that I never get. But is that ego? Is that aspiration?
It's you trying to live your life for your child.
Yeah, but
And-
like, you just want them to have something you never got.
Yeah, but then all you're going to do is be like, look how great my child is compared to yours. Like, think about when your aunties or something would say to your mum, look, my daughter is perfect. She does this. What does
Perfect.
your daughter do, huh? You know? Like, you'll hear all these direct comparisons, and I'm not saying every parent's going to do the same
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they would have the same thoughts when they see a child being naughty or something, and they're like, my child never does that. That would be the first thing that goes to their head. It's just an ego trip.
But what about, okay, so I've got 2 lines of thinking now. One, actually, I kind of want to know, like, why. I don't think I actually even asked why you don't want kids. Like, what, it was apart from, like, a desire not to. Like, is there, like, other external factors that maybe might have been influencing you not wanting to have kids?
Other than like the whole maternal instinct. blah, blah,
Or
blah.
other than whole maternity, unless you,
Okay.
other than whole maternity
Well,
instinct. Like, does the financial, the actual world
yes.
situation play a part?
Mostly the freedom. Like, you have less freedom, less ability to be spontaneous, money. Children are very expensive. Those are like the shallow things, I guess, or the main points. People don't want to have kids.
Genuinely selfish. I'd rather spend my money on me.
Correct.
To be honest, I have a certain lifestyle I'd like to uphold, and doing that in Australia with children is probably really hard. Like, we don't earn that much money, but I feel richer than a lot of people just because we don't have children. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely, I feel like if there's something I want to do, I can do it. If there's something I want to see, I can go see it. There's not much I can't do. And I don't feel like I'll have to work till I'm 65 years old either.
Yeah. And that is selfish, but it's also selfish having kids.
But yeah, humans are selfish beings.
True.
So how about now? This is, you know how it's a thing that I recently discovered. You know how like in Japan and Korea, there's a baby crisis, like a crisis, a population crisis, because people aren't having kids. And I think in Korea, I was listening to someone talk about it. It's like, you know, like it's so hard on women. Like you have to like work, like everyone has to work long hours, and then by the time you have kids and you have to take care of your kids, but then it's so expensive to get education and all that stuff. Do you think that the longer we live in this world, the closer we will get to being like South Korea, where like maybe would the world have a population crisis at any point? Or do you think that there will be countries out there who are still happy to continually having babies?
Well, I think the biggest proof of that is the poorer the country, the more babies they're going to have. Because the less educated they are, the less jobs there are, the more time they have to have babies. So there will always be impoverished countries
With loads of kids.
with loads of kids. When you look in all the predictions for the year 2100, the countries with the biggest population are majority African, Nigeria, places like this, because...
Or like even India and such. Like,
Oh no,
yeah.
even India's gonna reaching its They're not gonna reach. They're gonna get to a replacement level soon enough. Because it's always been proven, the more well off a country is, and the more likely your child will survive into adulthood, the less likely you are to have 8 children. So, and the thing is, South Korea and Japan, those are really outliers, just because their work culture is completely insane, and I feel for anyone who has to work there in that. But even in Australia, I think our work culture is not that insane. I think it's a bit laid back.
It is.
Working in a big corporate company, I'm not feeling the pressure of getting called on a weekend that often, like maybe once.
I think select few companies definitely.
Like if you work for maybe a big consulting firm
Or
as
big
a
law
junior,
firm.
But if you work for like your average big company,
Like big oil company.
big oil company, you're not doing that much work where it's the stress is making you not able to procreate outside of work hours. I think it's just we've realized there's a balance to it, and no one wants. It is a very few amount of people who want 5 children. Like 2 is what people want.
Or 3 if you get like 2 of the same gender or something like that.
Most people you talk to, I would say, oh, I want a boy and a girl. That is literally the average. So there just comes a point in time where everyone gets to the I want a boy and a girl and moves on. Do you have a different view?
No. So what if? So like, I think you're right. Like wanting kids is an ego thing, but the second thing, which is very big in like Asian culture, is I want to have kids. This is me too. I want to have kids so that in the future I can have someone take care of me as well, right?
Toxic.
No, but it's in like, no, it's not. But as in, you know, like, who's gonna, like, not who's going to, but when I'm old, and if my friends all live in different places, they live in different retirement homes, you know, where will I get that family connection?
Plan that shit better.
What do you mean? How can I plan that shit better?
You guys could all go in together on like a big farmland, hire some nurses to come out and live with y'all, and then you could have like a little community with you and your old friends.
Like a commune?
Yeah. Start a cult.
With your plants.
With your plans. But then, like, what's your plans when you're older? Like,
well, hopefully we'd have enough money where, because if you're not having children, it's about $300,000 Australian if you're doing like the cheapest you can for an 18 years of life for a child.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have 3 kids, let's just say that's $900,000 saved.
Yeah.
Put that $900,000 in your super instead. You're sitting pretty in retirement. You could probably go to the nicest retirement home. And let's be real, in Australia, most people are not looking after their parents. They're selling the house and chucking their parents in an old person home, and they're never getting visited.
Are they Asian?
I'm speaking from a white person.
That's what. Cause
No, but like your children, right? They're not going to be full Malay. They're going to be Aussie. They're going to be
depending.
well, let's assume, right?
Assume.
No, but even if you marry a Malay man, Your kids are Aussie. They grew up in Australia in Australian culture. They're not. They have Malay heritage, but they're Aussies.
Malay Chinese, just putting it out there, just in case. No, not for you, not for you. Just for people, not for you. All good.
Yeah.
I think you're right though, but I feel like, so with my mom and dad, they were taking care of my grandma, sorry. And then mom actually made this realization the other day. She was like, oh, you know what? Taking care of grandma's hard. In the future, if you want, put me in a nice retirement village. Like, and they can be quite nice in Australia.
Yeah.
Like, I actually don't know what the one in Malaysia is like, but in Australia, I've been to one, and they're like, they look good. Good enough that I'm sure if you're like a nice, healthy old person, you can swing.
Hell yeah.
I would say they're not that nice.
No, I've
Some
seen
of them
nice ones.
are.
Some of them
My
are.
mum and my sister both worked in a lot of nursing homes, and
Not nursing homes, retirement villages.
they're pretty much the same. My grandpa went to one. They're
Is
not
it?
that nice.
I visited some and they seem nice.
Yeah, because you have your own little unit and you have nurses come around and give you
Yeah.
your pills, right?
And then
What
you
else do
guys.
need?
no,
Yeah.
but you end up just being a hermit living in your apartment.
No,
No,
so,
you have sex with each other.
you have sex with each other. Swing.
I mean, not that I can choose, but preferably would rather just stay till like 80 or something.
80. Is that when you're like, all right, bye?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Also, I wouldn't mind being in a retirement village.
I actually
And I feel like I wouldn't want my children to take care of me. Like, they have their own lives to live.
But selfish. That is another selfish reason to have a child.
But I think it's also so the other way of seeing it, right, is back in the day, before technology and the world is now globalized and everything, you used to live in a community where like the grandparents, the parents, and the kids are all around the same area, right? And so the reason why people are people is because you are able to kind of like take care of one another, even though you might not get anything out of it per se. Like you take care of your parents because they like, you respect them and you love them and everything, and you have your kids because you know that at some point they might be able to help you back, all that jam. Now I know in this society we don't live in the same place, but if you have the luxury of living like nearby, I guess like it's kind of nice to have your kids come visit you once every like week or so, you know.
That's different though. I feel like having a family dinner once a week is that's a good thing to have. You should do that, but an expectation that this child was born and I raised it till I was 18 and they had no choice in that, has to look after me when I'm old and feeble, is just toxic.
But not like that, not to the level of, I think if they put me in a nice retirement village.
No, but that's fine. I feel like that is the most you can expect.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
at the same time, you're paying for it. The kids aren't paying for it.
Yeah,
They're using
you pay
your
super,
home,
with your super or something
or
like that. Yeah.
they're selling your home to
Yeah,
put you
yeah.
in there. They're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
paying
yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Because it really looks like you're just hampering your children's ability as well. You're making them poorer by...
No.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think that's why my mom was actually saying to me in the future when she's old, like, make sure, don't let me cause too much trouble for you, you know? But, like, do you ever get scared that when you're older, like, who would be your, like, family? Like, who's going to visit you and all that stuff? Or not really? Maybe, like, rely on your nieces or nephews and such.
Yeah, not really. I guess I haven't thought about that, but it doesn't bother me. We have enough nieces and nephews.
Okay. No, that's fair.
Cousins, I guess.
That's fair.
I think my only worry would be if Leanne died before I died,
Yeah.
and then I would be lonely. But
You can remarry.
How many days does he, how many years, days?
how many years?
I don't care.
I wouldn't remarry because I'm a faithful man.
Just so that her future ghost doesn't come and like...
I give you permission.
Thank you. You got that recording?
Yeah, it's recorded. It's recorded for future in Melquite's teachings.
And look, to be fair, I wouldn't have children fighting over my inheritance, so I could just give it away to some sugar baby as well. It wouldn't even matter. Like, no, it's not like I'm screwing over my kids because no one was getting the money anyway. So yeah, come on, sugar babies. If I'm 80 and Leanne's dead, you know where to find me.
I feel like now, if you're 80 and Leanne's dead, I feel like something insidious happened. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, what am I, sugar baby? That's what you'll know.
Exactly. But yeah, that's fair. What do you have any, not any like teachings, but do you have anything that you think that's worth saying to people who may be even on the fence of like, oh, kids, no kids?
Go into it for the right reasons. Listen to your children. Be protective of your children, but not overbearing. And let them learn from their mistakes. Don't push your agenda onto them. Let them figure it out for themselves.
So that's if they have kids.
If you have kids. And think about that before you do it.
What about, Leanne, like, what if someone's like, I don't know if I should have kids or not? What makes you sleep better at night? Knowing this decision. Having made this decision.
That's a good question. I don't know. I would just tell them to really think about it. Because regret is a thing either way.
Before we wrap up, before we tap out of this podcast, what happens when you guys pass away and then you still have inheritance? Like, who will you give it to?
The niece or nephew that likes us the most.
Oh, that
Or
likes you the most.
That we like the most.
That you like the most.
Nah, we'd probably split it somehow.
The one that visits us the most. Or to you, Mel.
That's what I was getting at.
Don't you worry. You may be older, but we're going to die earlier.
But
Don't
what
worry.
if I made one of you guys godparents? And I'll be like, then it's
You're
your
buttering us up.
I
get
am.
it.
What if I keep going to all my guests and then ask this question? I'm like, what if I make you like a co-godparent? Like, would you give my kids the inheritance? This is genius. I love it.
Just don't emphasize the co part. You got to
That's
make
true,
them feel
yeah.
more special
Yeah.
than that.
Make like this time instead of harem of wives, it's harem of co-parents.
You're just going to have enough children for the amount of rich
Oh my
people that
God.
you know with no children. So one child for us, another child for the other couple. And you just keep having them.
I don't know. I feel like we're going into the territory of like tradwifing it. If I, oh, is it tradwifing? Sugar daddies, sugar godparents. I feel like there's so many like weird things happening there. 2 kids, they need to be rich. So 2 kids with multiple godparents.
We'll make sure to get rich for you, Mel.
Thank you, man. Well, thank you for listening into Melcrates. Should that be my new pod?
The Melcrates.
The Melcrates. It's only Melcrates because I think now I'm Socrates. That's it. But it's still about being 30. And actually, I've always really been interested in people who weren't sure whether they want kids or not. Because to me, actually, I probably should have put this at the start. Maybe I'll edit it in. Maybe not. We'll see. But to me, it was never an option. So, like, I have an aunt who doesn't have kids. And because she's not partnered. That's the only reason why she doesn't have kids. And, I mean, Malaysia. She could have had kids if she's here. And I only know one couple in Malaysia who doesn't have kids. But they do travel everywhere. Like, last year, they even went to Antarctica. Like as a cruise, Antarctica, as a cruise, and that costs like what 10K per person, 10 USD per person, which means in Malaysia it's about 10K. It'll be 30K ringgit just to go on a cruise onto the Antarctica. Antarctics, one of them.
Have you ever questioned why you want children then, or is this?
No.
Because this could just be you pushing
Agree.
your trauma from childhood into
Agree.
this.
I've never questioned it, and if anything, I've only ever realized that people can decide not to have them, like maybe post uni when we're near this age where like people started working now and like settling down. I don't even remember anyone that has ever discussed wanting or not wanting kids until the past couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah. But like I think I'm like, even though I'm like super woke, no, even though I'm super woke, I think I do carry like some traditional values. And like sometimes it just takes a little bit of like working out before I realize how much my upbringing has really impacted the way that I think.
Are you sure it's not just you being type A? Because children are like the ultimate planning device. You can plan everything for them from the moment they wake up till they go to sleep. You're planning
that's
trips
true.
for them. You're planning their school uniform, what school. They're like ultimate planning. This is like a type A's dream.
That's true. I don't know. I hate project managing my life, let alone project managing. I think my kid's life. I think the biggest thing for me, which is what I don't know whether you guys will probably like be able to pinpoint, is like what happens when you don't have kids. To me, it's like, am I able in my old age to have a purpose in a way, because I've never questioned it, right? I've never questioned, in my head, it's like the purpose of being an adult in the future is, so now to have a career that is like purposeful, meaningful, and then to have a family that like you are working towards like building kind of thing. Never had to question it until the past couple of years.
Very trad wife of you for thinking your purpose is having children.
But having children whilst working. You need to have both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So trad.
But also, if all the trad wives out there, I know you're working at home. It's just funny. They're doing their thing. But
well, what is purpose, Mel?
Huh?
Why do you think that is your purpose? What is a purpose? Why do you even need one? Why can't you just live?
Because I think there's no aim.
Why do you need an aim?
Because what are you working towards? I don't know. I can't not have anything to work towards.
But wait, that purpose is also a little bit toxic and hurtful to people who are unable to have kids.
No, I agree. I totally. So for those, I remember I know people before I even know there's an option not to have kids. The only reason why they couldn't have kids was they couldn't have kids. Do you know what I mean? At that time, before I even met people who decided not to have kids, it was a choice that was taken away. So it was actually really interesting when we're older now to have people actively make that decision, because I've always thought that it was something that was made for them.
The whole purpose thing.
You could get biblical about that, but no.
Yeah, well, look,
Let's not.
I'm just thinking, it sounds like you just always living in the future, Mel. You're never like living in the moment.
I do.
And that's all I'm hearing is like your plans for next week, tomorrow, a year. Because when you're thinking of purpose, you're not thinking of enjoying your current status. You're thinking of what's next? What can I do next? I need to have children next. That's what society's telling me to do. That's what I've got to achieve. But why? Why do you need to achieve any of this?
Well, how else do you live your life?
The way you want to live, not the way you've been programmed to live.
We live in a society.
We do. We live in a society.
I know. But anyway, so as I ponder in my, if you can look at me now, I feel like I'm that lady in the memes that's like doing calculations in her head. You know what I mean?
Yes.
As we ponder about this, hopefully those who are out there in their 30s who are thinking about wanting kids or not, hopefully this helped you. And those who wanted kids, I guess hopefully this confused you.
My bad.
But I think it's interesting. Like, it's good that it's interesting to see why people make decisions that goes against the grain of society. And that's also not fully dictated by what society needs. I think, when we compare like the likes of Japan and Korea, it is probably a pressure to not be able to have kids. Whereas in Australia, because you have that luxury, now you've got that luxury and privilege to decide whether you want to have kids or not. Like, it's a totally different world that we live in. And it's probably not something that I would have encountered in Malaysia. So I think it's good. It's good growth for me. I hope it's good growth for everyone. Thank you so much, Leanne and Thomas. And let me know if I've missed out on any like pressing questions.
We can follow up.
And we can have them follow up. And yeah. Thank you for listening to 30 What Now /Melcrites.
Thank you, Mel.
Bye.